Welcome everyone to Pentakill League Season 4 Week 1 Game 3. I'm DepressionMain here joined with Healy Skater 420 from the Bilgewater Powder Monkeys, and today we are watching the Zaun Underground take on the Ionian Bladedancers, Captains Rithma and Black's LOL. Healy Skater, why don't you tell us what we're seeing here?
Yeah, we're seeing just kind of bans all over the place. There is a lot of bot lane bans on the side of Zaun Underground, really giving respect to Valerian and Old Man Zoomies. I'm not sure of Old Man Zoomies his rank or his skill level, but judging by his name, he's a Zillion one trick, and they gave him Zillion. So you got to think that the Zaun Underground had a plan for this. There's no way that you let a one trick fall to a one trick unless you are kind of thinking about what you're gonna do around that.
Yeah, for sure. Banning the Malzahar away from Sebrig definitely takes away the one trick off of Sebrig. He's known for his Jhin and his Malzahar, so seeing a little bit of respect out of the mid lane. Perhaps they're trying to out-carry the bot lane with their solo lanes here from Zaun Underground.
Yeah, I think it's really kind of a head scratching draft. On the side of the Zaun Underground, they have Gangplank, Vigar, and Jinx, who have infinite scaling, and they can kind of 1v9 once you hit like the 30-minute mark or like 4 items, and then you have Thresh and Udyr, who I would consider to be at their strongest, before 20 minutes. So they kind of have a mix of early game and late game. I'm interested to see how that turns out. I feel like the Ionian Bladedancers have a more well-rounded comp. So I'm really interested to just kind of see how it plays out when they get started punching.
Yeah, for sure. And for all those joining us for the first time, we do like to play our drinking game, which I do not recommend. But for every time we casters say punch, you guys will be taking a drink. Please do not do that. I don't recommend it at all. We almost lost Steve last year playing that game. Uh,
I would say play it, but don't drive, and
yeah,
we can kind of
definitely
take a
don't
happy
drive.
middle ground.
For sure. All right, yeah, okay.
But you know what? That reminds me, we need to, for all the people that partake in booze in the league, I know there's a few, but we need to come together and kind of come up with like a Pentakill punch, and then that way, it's a fun little game. Everyone feels like they're part of the community. You just brew
mhm.
up a little batch of Pentakill punch on, Friday night, and then hop into some customs, and then just take a swig every time someone says punch.
I think your team might be perfect for designing that. I believe you've got Posty. He's pretty well versed in dadding and whatnot, so he's got to be at least half decent behind a bar.
I would say Randy and Steve's team. I think those two can. Actually, I hear Richard Nixon likes to party too. I think their team could put back
Shaw,
more.
yeah. We'll
Their
get
team could like pound a keg between the three of those people in one night.
all
So I
right.
would.
We'll get the Sharima ascended on that. Uh, pretty much. Let's take some predictions. What do you think about this game here while everybody's making their alcohol of choice? What do you think? Who's the clear victor of the draft?
I'm gonna go with the Ionian Bladedancers.
Hmm.
Uh, Partially due to the fact that Blacks is probably one of my favorite people in the league that I have not played with. So just purely based off that alone. But I feel like their team comp is more comprehensive in my mind as far as being well rounded, whereas on the side of the underground, you kind of have a mix of early game, late game, and it's it'll be interesting to see if they're able to kind of execute any cool things as far as like thresh hooking into a Vigar cage or flaying into it or using a GP ult to zone into it. They have a lot of cool tools at their disposal, but if they don't get rolling in the first 15, 20 minutes, then I think they just get closed out and they're gonna lose.
All right. I definitely see where you're coming from. I'm gonna give it to the Zaun Underground here. I know Rithma worked pretty hard on getting a mixed draft because he wanted to sort of get to that super late game where Gangplank, where Vigar, where Jinx can 1v9. And I think Vayne is a perfect pick from IBD here to sort of counteract that. But I think we'll definitely have to wait and see what happens in the first few minutes before we can make some late game predictions.
Yeah, I think that would just be, I would say, falling into the hand of the Bladedancers, because from what I hear of people that played with Valerian, he is very comfortable just farming, and then, when the time is right, kind of just getting in there and blowing it up. So if the underground waits too long, then I think that Valerian's going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Let's see. It looks like everybody did purchase items this game. So we're just going to get a classic 1-3-1 open from Zaun Underground, and it looks like a 4-stack out of IBD here. Just to get a look at things early on.
Yeah, how much catch potential do they have? Unless Black starts with the Pillar or Seabrig starts with the Charm. I don't know
Yeah, I don't
how
know.
much catch potential they have.
I don't think they have any really. The level 1 coming out of the Zaun Underground is going to be a little bit stronger just because Udyr doesn't take that much punishment from grabbing Bear early, and Vigar Cage can be just as useful. Jinx Clappers. There's lots of crowd
Yeah,
control at their disposal.
lots of disengage versus lots of not engage.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's in both teams' best interest to just start on their own side of the jungle and get things rolling in a conventional fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty conventional opening, I think, from both teams is what we should expect. I expect a little bit of early aggression out of Junior Carmel. His Udyr is rather gank heavy rather than farm heavy, which is perhaps a little bit unique in the league, where Tim likes to go and farm, and then once he's got his lead, likes to come in and start punishing people. Carmel likes to go and beat on people early, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and you have to think that Black's picking up Trundle has to be a kind of a denial pick. I'm not sure of Black's proficiency level on Trundle, but I know that Carmel loves to play him, so kind of a
For
little
sure.
denial game going. A little game
Absolutely.
within the game.
I think a lot of our junglers this week have been picking up Trundle for some time, at least to, if not for a takeaway, to have that level of proficiency in this now, bulk tank meta.
Yeah, my secret is I only play ARAM, so nobody knows what to ban.
Oh, that's a good strategy.
Oh, that was a nice little cue by Rithmal. But worth noting, he does have Predator, so you have to think that he's gonna be trying to move around the map more so than just farming until, I get 600 stacks and just blowing up someone in one hit.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna focus primarily on topside to get Goober Reborn, who's unknown hard carry, or if he's going to try and mitigate what Valerian and Old Man Zoomies can do. Either way, I think Predator's definitely the right call to sort of activate his team and be able to play like a captain and shot call behind it.
Yeah, and what do you make of the top matchup? Is there
I
a
don't know
certain
why he
player that
picked.
you think is going to be better?
I don't know why he picked Tahm Kench into the GP. GP can just eat some oranges and BK, pop out of Tahm Kench's belly at any point in time. His acid levels are far too high. That seems like a mistake, perhaps, in the draft there. I think Goober Reborn is a really dangerous player that if he gets ahead, he can cause a lot of problems for a game. And we saw that in the Shreem and Sand Soldiers last year, where I believe his Singed went like 20-1 or something like that. And his Zillion went absolutely nuts as well. So I think it's up to Firefox here to play not to lose rather than to try to win that lane.
Yeah, I think there's Seabrig has no mana. It can't do anything.
Got both junglers hovering around mid lane here. Goober Reborn starting to push in as well to get some freedom. But, yeah, it could just be, them posturing to see if they can invade each other. That looks like Jerry's headed back for a second sweep.
Almost a combo onto Jinx, but Jinx did take the Thresh Lantern and drop a nice little bomb on Thresh whenever he zoomed in.
And it should be noted that Shotomonks was the last round pick, third to last pick overall here, and he is currently keeping up and a little bit out CSing perhaps Mr. Valerian who was the first overall pick for IBD.
I think in a certain regard, that's to be expected when you're playing a long range AD carry versus a short range AD carry. Vayne.
Oh, here comes Jer.
Oh.
There's the pillar to keep her stunned.
Oh, great stun.
The double stun. First blood over to Jer. Excellent play there. Perfect setup. They created the terrain. They knocked him into it. Kept him locked down with the zillion bombs. Absolutely beautiful play there by IBD.
Yeah, and they're going to deny showed him on about probably 10 to 15 minions worth of CS there. That's a huge gank. A great vision by Blacks to kind of know that that wave was crashing. And that was the perfect time to get in there.
Yeah, and Dragon's going to fall right over to them. No contest from the Zaun Underground here as they grab that real quick. A perfect early kill into a perfect early Dragon. That's exactly what you expect out of a Jer Valerian combo here.
Yeah, it's great execution all around. And now, you know, the bot lane of the Underground is behind. That gives Vayne a little bit of breathing room. So like I was saying earlier, Vayne kind of sucks, like, at least until you hit level 6 and then maybe get your shield bow. You know, she's not really doing too much. So, you know, Valerian is just getting there that much quicker. It gives him a lot more room to work with.
For sure. Yeah, 1 kill going over is not the end of the world. We do have a 10 CS lead in the mid lane, a 5 CS lead in the top. You know, jungle's keeping up fine. Jinx popping right back to grab that 10 CS lead in the bot lane as well. I'm just curious as to what kind of global pressure Tahm Kench can produce against this GP. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this top lane matchup plays out. Seaberg with some fancy feet here. Rhythma on fire. Is going to get away. Seaberg unable to chase now that he dashed around 3 times.
Yeah, that's
Firefox
going to put a target on Seaberg's back. Knowing that his flash and his ult are down, should be pretty gankable for Carmel if he chooses to stay. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and Rhythma is going to get out of there.
Yeah. Just a safe little, you know, making sure that Jer wasn't coming in after he cleared that ward so that no dives can happen there. Teleport back from Rhythma to lane. That's a lot of resources that Seaberg just doesn't have now that Rhythma can look to punish.
And Firefox is taking the short end of the stick with these trades.
Yeah, this GP with the Sheen already is just going to be able to put out so much damage. And
yeah, Udir's looking for a sneaky lane gank. Maybe they could get a Thresh Lantern in there.
I like that quite a bit. Especially knowing that that river is warded. Tribush was not, so he's just going to hang out for a minute here. Hiding in the alcove,
yeah.
Not even in the bush, not going to get caught.
We're going to get a 3v3.
Oh, this is beautiful. Jer coming in with the pillar. Old Man Zumi's forced to flash away. Shotomonk's going to shoot him even further. No ult available for the Zillion. There goes the heal. Rhythma is here. Predator active. Trundle is in trouble. There he goes. A kill over to Rhythma, and that fight is absolutely detrimental to IBD there. You do not want Rhythma snowballing out of control, especially into the late game.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, Rhythma has a good CS lead. He didn't use Flash. He didn't use Predator. He has all of his tools kind of still available. Old Man Zumi's barely misses his double bomb.
Yeah, Goober Reborn getting the better of another trade up in the top lane here. Let's just make sure that the chat here in Pentakill, make sure that we spam that clown to take set down. Make sure we get some hype for IBD and ZU in the chat. Everybody loves to hear that after the game is done. We do review the VODs pretty frequently.
Yeah, and you know, the more that I'm sitting here pondering about it, part of me thinks that the Tahm Kench pick was just for security for Valerian. You know, kind of like back in the day it was a Juggerball comp, but or you would pick 2 supports, and then now, you know, they could be building up a Jugger Vayne comp. Maybe that's the rationale for picking Tahm Kench into a tough matchup.
Yeah, that very well could be. Valerian has been known to do his fair share of pentakilling, so I think that would be a good draft choice by IBD for sure. This lull in the action is in fact brought to you by Slim Jim. Nobody outslims the gym.
true. People forget that.
Caramel.
Caramel, maybe thinking about Rift Herald or just clearing vision. You never know.
Ooh, a little bit of a trade here in the bot
Valerian's
lane.
going in.
Chodo on the run. Ian
Yeah,
does
needs to
miss
drop the
the hook.
chompers.
Judgment's coming.
Or maybe just a
Here
nice
comes
play
the
to get him
ult.
out.
He might dive here just because of the Zillion ult being available. Flash away from Ian does keep him safe for now. No choppers available, it looked like. Oh, that's a lot of damage coming down right there. Old Man Zumi's forced to ult immediately. Shoto's ult is available. Jinx Rocket could be killing the Zillion. Boom, there it is. What an ultimate. Absolutely beautifully done by Zaun Underground there. Carmel is fighting over this
Caramel getting caught
dragon.
out.
Yep. You don't like to see that, especially with Trundle ulting, taking your stats away. Ari present, but does not get more than an assist there.
Yeah, I wish I could have given that kill over to Valerian. Give him a little extra juice.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
He was like 1 foot away from being able to get in an auto attack for the kill steal. I would have supported that.
He could have flashed for it, but he elected not to.
Yeah, you don't want to... On a champion like Vayne, where you're already so limited with your range, you don't want to be using flash for anything crazy.
For sure. Especially when Vigar has already roamed twice into the bot lane for some pretty devastating plays. Oh, that's a good stun right there. Damage coming down. Seabird is poked just a little bit. No ult available for the Vigar, so no threat of being dead.
Vigar gave him a little bit of a punch. Not too much.
Yeah, Goober Reborn here starting to pull his lead ahead. No real action, but he did manage to pull an assist with his ultimate in one of these fights.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Is we know that he's going to be building up a lead just with the CS and the way the lane interacts up top, but then having that ult to throw into mid or bot lane, you're just getting some kind of free extra gold off the side, and Tom Kinch doesn't really have that option available to him.
Yeah, for sure. And we did see the Udyr run up and grab the Rift Herald after respawning and running up there. So 2 dragons in favor of IBD here, but Zaun Underground does have that tool for at least 2 minutes until the plates fall. So perhaps we will see some shenanigans trying to get Goober Reborn or Rithma even further ahead. Nice little trade here for Firefox.
He might be getting toasted by Caramel, though.
Yep, here it comes. He doesn't have an out yet. Waiting on his cooldown to get out of here. Caramel looking for the dive. Bot lane going to start something up here as well. No dive happening in the top lane. Jurat is grabbed by one of the bombs. Does get picked up by the Trundle as well. Trundle now looking to hard carry this game with 3 kills, all 3 kills present. And there's the Rift Herald grabbing 2 plates for free and a 3rd on the way.
Yeah, and despite lacking dragons, the Zaun Underground still has about a 1k gold lead. That might get chunked down here with the taking his plates, and Jinx, you gotta think she's going down. Both flashes from Valerian and Blacks take her down.
Yep, we did see the Jinx flash as well, so that's perhaps why we saw those 2 flashes. I think that's still worth, if you're Shoto, you're thinking, hey, I've still got, the CS that I need. My tower's gonna get beat up, but like 2 flashes for the 1, that's pretty worth.
Yeah, and the Bladedancers do actually kind of catapult a 2k gold swing. They were down by 1k, now they're up by 1k. And they're going back in.
Ooh, lots of damage coming down here onto Firefox. The shield is going to come up to save him for a second. Carmel goes under the tower, but Goober Reborn going to pick that one up right there.
Yeah, and they should be getting this tower. Firefox is not going to be up in time to TP. And I think the gold might just swing back to dead even, with the only real difference maker being the dragons.
Yeah, and I think if you're Zaun Underground, going even at this point in the game is kind of what you want to be. Rithma's ahead, Goober Reborn is ahead. Their Jinx is only 500 gold down right now. That's 2 kills in the late game, which Jinx Rockets could even that up at any moment.
Yeah, can you pilot us down and show us which soul we're going to have?
It looks like we will have a Wind Soul, Cloud Soul.
Yeah, I feel like the Cloud Soul could be a real difference maker on either team. With that much movement speed on a
Oh, Jer, you're in a bad spot here. Lots of damage coming down onto the Trundle. A shutdown is available. Junior Carmel trying to block for Rithma here. And here comes Firefox and Goober Reborn. There goes Jer. The shutdown going over to the Vigar. Firefox now on the run as Goober Reborn is present. Seabrook bailing him out. Now the Zaun Underground are on the run. And it looks like Ian is going to neutralize that. Shoto Monks does manage to catch Vayne in the bot lane with Chompers, preventing them from engaging there.
Yeah, that Jinx was 100% dead if the Chompers didn't land.
Oh, yeah. Vayne rundown with Zillion speed up? Absolutely. Even trading 1-for-1 there wouldn't have happened because Zillion ult is available. And I think that is something to keep an eye on in these mid-stage team fights here.
Yeah, we got Dragon in less than a minute, so it'll be interesting to see who sets up for what, and if the Bladedancers can kind of get vision early and maybe go for that soul point.
Yeah, I think the Zaun Underground are aware of that. They're looking to fight for this one. We got Goober Reborn coming down into the mid lane, surrendering some top lane prio. Firefox does have TP available, so we might see him TP in a little late after getting some tower pressure here. But here comes the Dragon, started up by IBD. They're going to pull it out, and Zaun Underground are ready to collapse here. They're looking to see if they can find it. Jinx Rocket is always a good tool here, but Udyr's running in by himself, it looks like. Jinx Rocket a little bit late. Red team does get it. They're on Soul Point. Jer taking a lot of damage, and they're looking to pick him up again. There is the Zillion, and they're going to knock him down a little bit late, but he is going to just get murdered anyway. And that goes over to the Jinx, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're the Zaun Underground.
Yeah, but if you're the Bladedancers, you kind of take that any day of the week. You take Soul Point for 1 kill into your jungler.
Yep, for sure.
That's a pretty easy trade to make.
Yep, Soul Point is going to be looking very scary on the side of IBD, and I think that they are not feeling so worse for wear after that one either. This is still anybody's game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a 1k gold difference in favor of the Zaun Underground. With some really scary carries, that might be bad. But the Zillion sort of neutralizes some of that. Ian missing his hook there again. Mr. Carmel managing to pick up the point-and-click stun there. Lots of damage coming down onto Valerian. Zillion is available. Oh yeah, Seabrook thought he was going to be able to help here. He's getting stunned, murdered by the GP, and that was his first death of the game, so that's going to be the full 300 as well.
Yeah, I think this is... right now, it's any man's game. I think it is scary that the Zaun Underground, they are ahead by 2k gold, and they have kind of the hyper scaling with Jinx, Vigar, and Gangplank. I think that the Bladedancers are really going to have to kind of tighten things up to get away with the win here.
Yep. Zillion ult is definitely going to help in mitigating some of that pressure that they feel. They do get a little bit of a 6v5 situation if timed correctly. Tom Kench can definitely be a huge tool in making sure that if somebody gets caught, they don't get caught. Ari has a bunch of shenanigans. Trundle gets to steal half of his health bar back. It looks like second Herald here is going to go over to the Zaun Underground.
Oh yeah. And it looks like it's 2 towers to 1 in favor of the blue side, and then they're getting another Herald, and you got to think that, if they use the Herald in the right spot, they're going to make it 3 towers to 1.
Yeah, and that can be real spooky, especially if they end up with a second tier tower, or if they just open up the entire first tier towers in bot lane there. Either way, that gives them a lot of freedom to start setting up vision and look for picks. Carmel just spooking off the top lane pressure there, keeping Shoto Monks safe. I think it should be noted that this is Carmel, Shoto, Firefox, Seabrig, and Old Man Zumi's first show game of the league. So we do have 50% new players here. Welcome to the league, everybody.
I don't know really how to handicap or put the betting odds on a team with this many new faces. Everyone is a kind of unknown quantity at this point.
Yeah, for sure. We had, I believe we had 29 new players enter this season with the addition of 2 extra teams. So we are 12 teams now instead of 10. So yeah, 29 new faces here, which is an absolutely huge turnaround. And let me take this moment as the commissioner of the league to welcome everybody to Pentakill, and we hope you all do incredibly well. Ryan is our resident DJ Steve Corraller, so everybody better respect him.
Yeah, that's a full-time job in and of itself. You know, that job doesn't do itself.
No, it definitely doesn't.
But we got a lot of focus up in the top lane. Three members of the blue side, 2 members of the red side. And it looks like, this fight might even expand, and they could look for a catch on the Udyr.
Yep, I think it should be noted the item differences here that we're starting to see. Mid lane is a full, the difference between Needless versus an Amp Tome there. Jungle is item and 2/3 to item and a half. Top lane has a full item advantage. Looks like bot lane has about half an item advantage in favor of Valerian. So Zaun Underground definitely feeling like they can take on the world here if they're paying attention.
Yeah, to me, I think the key of the game is just gonna rest on the shoulders of Valerian, with them being behind in gold up against the hyper carry.
Looking for a pick onto the captain. Rithma, great flash away, does manage to counter pick their captain. Captain on captain violence is always my favorite shenanigans. Punchies a clock in the bot side river.
Oh yeah, and that 4th dragon just came up, and then they dropped a Rift Herald. They get a pick. The Zaun Underground is definitely going to get this dragon, and kind of advance their gold lead. And for the Bladedancers, you got to just try to hold on to whatever you have right now at this point.
Yeah, and keeping them off of Dragon Soul is absolutely massive. In addition to everything else that you just mentioned, like that was a great series of plays. Rithma baiting in the 3 members of IBD there, Valerian resetting Gromp. Gromp is a feisty frog. You better be careful, Vol. Yeah. Ian.
Garrett.
Yeah, Ian, a little bit too far forward. Bad flash right there.
Yeah.
Super slowed, stunned, and Valerian's going to grab that one. Looking for Jer again here is Rithma and Junior Carmel. Not a great pillar for grabbing Junior Carmel. The speed there going to help him out, but they're going to let him go. Uber Reborn back to Firefox in the top lane. Looks like GP does have his first ultimate upgrade. I will check to see if he's got more than that, but let's see. Nope, just the one, but he does have enough to pay for a second, it looks like. Lots of damage coming down here. Super punchies.
Close matchup.
Oh, that's not good. There it is.
Man.
Oh, GP just so scary in these mid to late game fights, and Goober Reborn's so good at managing them.
Yeah, if Goober wasn't up, probably 2K gold at this point. If the gold was even, I think Firefox played that well and could have had it. But
that kill right there puts him at 3K. Oof, rough matchup there. It's on Underground taking control of the top side of the jungle here. TP is available from the Gangplank if something starts to break out. He's starting to progress up the mid lane, but Seabrig caught in the Vigar cage. Incoming dump of damage. Shotomonk's going to pick that one up. A 3rd kill to the 3rd carry. That's exactly what you want to see if you're Zaun Underground. I think IBD has to play this real careful and get that Zillion moving into these fights.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of grouping on the side of the Bladedancers. I would say that Zaun Underground is grouped much better, much more effectively. They've taken more towers.
Rithma in trouble with the stun from the Zillion. Is the Thresh Lantern going to be enough? No. Shutdown 700 going over to the Trundle again. Trundle taking all these kills that probably should have gone to Vol. Captain Jer says he's the hard carry, so I believe him. Ooh, lots of damage coming down off of that as well. And a free level for Mr. Jer coming out of Old Man Zoomies.
Yeah, and I think a big power spike is coming up for Valerian whenever he gets that Rage Blade. That's really, I would say when you kind of hit your power, or I guess you could say like 3rd item after you get a Wit's End, or whatever you want as a 3rd item. But I think Valerian's time is coming up, and
Hmm.
you know, if they can't take advantage of it, then things are going to go downhill quickly for them.
Yeah, I definitely want to see IBD focus more heavily around Valerin, and what Valerin needs to be doing is perhaps knocking down that mid tower would be really beneficial. But also, he can't be risking, being the front line here. Junior Carmel has, been all over him. Shoto Monks has been hitting all of his Jinx rockets so far, and the Vigar is super scary, especially with that cage and how far ahead he is currently.
Has he used Predator yet that we've seen?
Yes, we don't get the auditory clues
Okay.
like IBD does, but yes, he has used the Predator boots a couple of
Yeah,
times.
maybe me not hearing it is deceiving me into thinking that it's
Yeah,
not being used.
and he's also trying to compete with either Trundle or Vayne, who are moving at Mach 10. Like, he's using the
Yeah.
Predator right there. It's on cooldown now. Uh, so, yes, he is using it, but no, we don't get to hear.
Yeah. Okay.
About a minute left on this dragon. IBD posturing so that they can get that soul on the board. They're going to be looking to try and grab Elder after that as well, I'm sure. But still only one tower taken. It is now 4 towers to 1 in favor of the Zaun Underground, nearly 6 minutes later.
Yeah, it's gotta feel bad just being so behind on the global gold when. Oh, we have a big fight coming up. Ooh, whiff on the charm by Sebring.
The second ward being in there is a big deal. They still have the vision, even though they lost that pink ward. I don't
The
think that there's a
Bladedancers are
sweeper
split
available.
when all 5 of the underground are kind of clumped as 5. If you're the Bladedancers, you don't want to fight while you're split up. Okay,
Yep.
they are regrouping to form one front.
Rithmaw trying to catch out the Tom Kench here, but Tom is able to jump over that wall. Here comes the GP. Lots of damage coming down. Jarrett in the middle of everybody. GP killing the Zillion. Junior Carmel knocked down on the back line, but Trundle killed in the front. Tom Kench is out on the run for his life. He is dead. Ari hurt, low mana, taking lots of damage. Goober Reborn one taps her to finish her off. And there they go, onto the dragon, preventing Soul Point as Goober Reborn runs down Valerian. Let's keep an eye on this fight here. Valerian is looking at it under the tower. Jinx Rocket does land. Goober Reborn so healthy still, and Valerian's going to get out of there while they
Yeah, that was
grab.
tragic. Valerian got hit by one GP barrel and was down to like maybe a third health, and then had to flash away immediately. So, you know, I think he did end up getting a kill or two that fight, but he was zoned off like from the get-go.
Yeah, it looks like the kill that did go over to the IBD team went on to the Ari, which is a big deal. Ari with gold is pretty scary. But I think Junior Carmel was the only one to die there. Ian might have as well, which I believe went on to Trundle or Vayne. I can't tell. Yeah,
I want to
that's
say
a
it
big
was
fight.
maybe it was 3-2 in favor of the underground. I would have to.
I believe that was
We need a
4.
stats guy so I can retrack.
Yeah, get the stats lead in this. They'll tell you after the game. Yeah, that was
Okay,
4-2 there in favor of Zaun Underground. The only survivor was Valerian. And it looks like IBD is going to grab some vision control again, reestablish themselves, and look for perhaps some Baron pressure after mid tower. But Zaun Underground grouping again, not willing to give up anything in this game.
Yeah, this has been a high tempo game. I'm a big fan of both these teams' play style as far as they're being involved in the action and not letting anything go uncontested, pretty much.
Yeah, I love to see, the second dragon fight with just Carmel was a little questionable, but I love to see these two teams going
we
at
have
it like this.
a Baron sneak going.
Yeah, there's no vision on it from red side. Rithmaw's in the back line here trying to prevent any shenanigans. It looks like Valerian and Old Man Zoomies are going to grab mid tower, and they did manage to grab some damage onto that bot lane tower, but that's going to be Baron in exchange for second tier bot lane and first tier mid. Goober Reborn able to sneak away from Valerian there. Valerian taking a couple of extra tower shots. Those hurt now, by the way. That patch did come through before our season started.
Oh,
Lots of damage. Oh, big ult! Absolutely massive. Carmel in the backline trying to not get murdered, but he is slowed down. Valerian super low health. Old Man Zoomies unable to get the resurrection off. Both of them on the run. And that's essentially a 2-for-1 trade there, because Carmel is the only one out of that fight.
Yeah, they really need to just reset and then try to get those waves pushed out. Don't let the Zaun underground get a push going. Don't let them get the creeps going up past the river. But we'll see. I think the Zaun underground are really
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to hammer it home.
Mid.
Yeah, we got 2 headed topside to try and catch out that Tom Kench. Jer is backing, going to be unable to help him if he completes that back. Looks like they're rerouting Zaun Underground to the bot lane. No teleports available from Goober Reborn to finish that up. But looks like Carmel got spotted out, so he is headed back to his jungle.
Yeah, I think this is kind of best case scenario for the Bladedancers, just having them kind of the enemy back off on their own accord. Just you don't have to force them out or do anything crazy. You don't have to take a fight. They just kind of back up on their own will. But they are going for this bot tower, and they're gonna get it.
Yep, 3 top lane spotted out by a ward. Goober Reborn making a safe play there back. He's moving towards the mid lane now that he sees them grouping up there. Looks like Tom Kench going to go contest the bot lane.
Situation.
Yeah, Trundle is a monster at taking towers, but Goober Reborn is a monster of shooting people in the face. There goes the inhib already. You're at 2nd tier tower. You did get it, but at what cost? You're going to lose a base tower
you're not
here.
winning this base race.
Seabrook had to flash out of that. Great flash, by the way. Absolutely massive flash. Junior Carmel top of the backs. Goober Reborn looking to kill Jer. Jer's ulted and ready to fight. Carmel is going to die here to Valerian. Nope, Jer takes that kill too. Seabrook falling in the base. There are super minions all over the place. Goober Reborn still trying to buy time for that Trundle to not be there. Tower's going down to the base. There it goes. Shodamonk's trying to be bought time for. Rithma collapsing on the base. And the Zaun Underground are going to take the game. 31 minutes in a base race against Trundle.
That was a crazy ending. I can't believe that the Bladedancers took a base race versus a Baroned up Jinx. Nobody takes towers faster than Jinx. And taking a base race against that with Baron, they're going to be kind of replaying the VOD on this one and seeing what went wrong.
Yeah, Carmel and Goober Reborn willing to give up everything for that play. They charged into the 3 hard carries of IBD, giving their lives for it at the very end there. No perfect game for you, Robbie, but everybody spam that Robbie to help Robbie.
Yeah, I think we got to give player of the game to Goober Reborn. He was massive, ulting all over the map. He had a 80 CS lead. He was at 9 CS a minute. I think he was reborn that game. So
yeah, and he definitely drew a whole bunch of attention from just about everybody throughout the last few minutes of that game. So I have to agree with you. Goober Reborn, definitely MVP of that game. Yeah, any closing remarks?
It's hard to say. I think the Bladedancers are definitely off to a very strong lead, and maybe they just need to work on their mid game a little bit. But that game was within their grasp until it wasn't. Until the game ended, they were right there in it. So I think if they can work on their mid game a little bit, then they should be a very fierce team to compete against.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was anybody's game to win for just about all of it. But the Baron play was just massive. That Snuck Baron was absolutely genius, and they macro played just wonderfully, buying every second they could from Junior Carmel and Goober Reborn, fighting for their lives as Jinx just knocked down towers after tower. GG, everybody. This was Pentakill Season 4, Week 1, Game 3. Zaun Underground victors. Good night.